Good afternoon, community, Veterans Chamber community. This is Laura Torres. I'm your host for this segment of our brand new and amazing radio camp broadcast. And I'm here with Elizebeth Perez, um, Navy veteran. And also, she is for running for the
Vista City
let me just
Council
have her
District 2.
tell me what it is. Sorry, Vista City Council. Thank you. I wanted to say Vista, but I wanted to make sure that was in the city because I'm your neighbor, Elizabeth. I'm in San Marcos.
Oh, wow. Hello, neighbor.
Yeah. So, hello, neighbor. So let's just jump in and tell me a little bit about your Navy career. How did that go, or how did you even get started?
I think that the easiest answer to that, and hi, everybody, and thank you for having me on the show.
Mhm.
All of us fellow veterans and veteran families and supporters, thank you again. The easiest way to answer that is family. My dad served 17 years Army, and I grew up an Army brat. And I don't know if I was really a brat, but I grew up in a lot of the military years with my father, and that was a lot of the influence. I never actually wanted to join the military when I was a child until he passed away when I was 17. And that always stuck with me for the rest of my life, actually. And he was such an influence, and I wanted to make him proud and serve in his honor. And one of the things he said to me before he passed away was, sorry, Army. He said, don't go Army, go Navy. So that's why I ended up joining the Navy instead of the
That's
Army.
right. Go Navy.
Go Navy.
Go Navy, that's right. And so that's my question. If it seems like a little like, how do you even get started? Because we all have a story, right?
Right.
We all have a story that lead us to the beginning. So in this particular community right now through the Veterans Chamber, we are all about small little business and empowering, and we all have a story. How do you even get started with your business? How do you get started with your online sales and all those things? So in your case, you're running for city council. And
Mm-hmm.
so tell me about all that experience. How did you also get that the little vibe to say, hey, I want to get involved. I want to be more than retired Navy veteran.
Well, I actually didn't retire. I got out after 9 years, 8 years active, 9 years total after the reserves. And even that story in itself on how I decided to run for Vista City Council is a bit of a journey, and it took a course of over 10 years, and I found myself in a more of a political path after starting my company. GCG, we're an energy and general contracting firm that focuses on energy and water technology type retrofit projects here in San Diego. We do work across the state. Along with that, being a Navy combat veteran and also in the renewable space and having those deployments under my belt, there was a lot. You can't help but almost find yourself political, right? and no matter
Right.
what you do, whether it's military and then even after uniform in the veteran world, there's something always political in that atmosphere, especially when you're talking clean energy. And as a disabled veteran business enterprise within the state spectrum, and then also as a service disabled veteran owned company, an SDVOB on the federal spectrum, there was a lot of uh, disadvantages that we had in terms of being a DVB. Although there's a lot of the community that feels that there is an advantage, right? I wouldn't say it's something that's a handout at all by any means. And I've had people actually tell me that, well, you must have all these contracts, the government's giving you a handout, all you veterans. And that is the most annoying statement I can ever, I cringe. And a part of the reason why most of us veterans know why these incentives are there is because we were serving. And while we were serving, our colleagues and those that didn't serve had the opportunity to gain that experience, to gain that network. And when we're coming back home to the US or back to our home port, and many of us not even back to our home port. I'm originally from Fresno. I live here in San Diego. I didn't know anybody here. So I had to start basically from scratch and from nowhere. And those incentives are there for us to get our foot in the door so people would even want to talk to us. And I'm telling you this
That's
because
right.
there are so many unfortunately, and I'm not undermining this by any means, there are so many prime contractors that are out there still, but this is a problem. I'm hoping that it gets addressed. There's been a lot of legislation that's changed to protect the DVBEs and SDVOBs. Um, there's a lot of prime contractors that put veterans companies' names on those response for proposals, RFPs, and they do not give the work. It's my dog in the background. They do not give the work to the veterans that they're promising state and federal government that, yes, we're going to hire this veteran-owned company. We're going to hire veterans behind that logo, behind that name. And I know this because it happened to me. And my voice was not heard until we were fortunate enough to get a lawyer and fight that. And eventually, I was public speaking about this. One time in Forbes heard about this, and they did an article back in November of 2017. And it was basically like David versus Goliath, this small company going after these large primes saying, like, look, this is wrong. But that's really where we can't have fear, right? And there were even veteran leaders speaking out against it, say, we don't think this is a good idea, that you're doing this, that you're protesting this because you can lose business. Well, the fact is, I wasn't getting business, right? Because they were taking my business. They were basic. It's a fraudulent document that they had, and they are so used to doing this, and it still happens today, unfortunately. These prime contractors are so used to doing this that they didn't think nothing of it. They're used to not being challenged. And I encourage veteran-owned businesses, if this happens to you, and I want you to contact me. I used to work for the state, but the point of this is that it led me to my career in politics as a deputy secretary of minority and underrepresented veterans. And I also oversaw the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Program, the very program I was talking about that was broken. I had almost 2 years of that experience, and that led me onto a different path, a different journey. And I still have my company today. I've had it for 10 years, and coming back, I realized I just can't leave politics alone. So I decided to run for local office. There's a lot of things, even locally, I see here that need to be addressed, and a lot of matters. But I definitely wanted to highlight that business side, and that's honestly the real reason how I even got into politics. And that's really about veterans speaking our voice, because we do have a strong voice. We just need to ensure that we use it, and when we use it, veterans, we have to support each other.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why we're extremely big, and we are very excited to launch this particular platform, as well as any other means that we can really broadcast, showcase, have that voice for veterans and for military spouses and for military affiliated families in general, so that we together can really leverage all those different means and very unitedly be able to cohesively be able to then problem solve and make a bigger impact. And that's one of the biggest things with the Veteran Chamber, is that we really go out there and advocate for small businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and we want to make sure that everybody's thriving and making sure that making a bigger impact on our community, but also themselves, their business, their families is also really out there having the services and getting access to the resources, like you said, that are needed, not just within that particular network of connected sort of contractors that it's already their niche, but actually expand it and make sure that we are. So with that being said, what is, I know that right now you have a much bigger vision. Of course, it's in regards to politics, get involved and really advocate for policy. What would you say what is your mission, if you were to describe it in 3 words?
My mission, oh gosh, in 3 words, you were really putting me on the spot here, but I get like
3 words.
trying to
Okay, well, then say 5.
words flowing here.
Tell me everything, Elizabeth. I hear you. I'm a chatter too, so you cannot keep me off with only 3 words, but tell me.
I'm a believer that, and I don't know if I can fit on 3 words, that I don't want to not do anything, right? I don't want to have this ever happen in my life where I say, geez, I wish I would have. I wish I could have. I just, that would really bother me. I don't know. That's just something it's not like, oh, can I? It's, oh, when? When do I, let me schedule this? And it's more of like, or planning. I've always, I
Right.
think ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to run for office. I didn't know what it was. But the fact that, having that experience for almost 2 years in Sacramento really opened my mind to, especially on the Native American side. My dad is from Mexico. My mom, she's Mono Indian from Northbrook Rancheria, Mono Indian, right outside Yosemite. The fact is, I would say the biggest motivator would be that we absolutely need many more, and we're definitely not there right now. We need so many more Native Americans in politics, and that's at the local level, state level, federal level. I mean, our whole livelihood, our sovereignty depends on it. So I would love to, run for this office, and of course, here at Vista City Council District 2, and have it evolve into something, bigger. And that bigger to me looks like possibly starting a nonprofit to help Native youth, Native young adults have that pathway to run for office. Because right now that infrastructure isn't there. Here's just some facts. Our first elected official, first California Native elected official, just got elected in 2018, November 2018. Okay, and when I was serving, when I was appointed January 2018, Christina Snyder, who is the governor's tribal advisor, and myself, we were the only two tribally enrolled California natives out of 1,000 appointees, out of 1,000. And people congratulate
That's
me. Oh, that's what an accomplishment. I'm thinking,
yes.
I got goosebumps, and I felt like this unsettling feeling, thinking that is not an accomplishment. Like, this is, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that many of us, like, really, it's just startling to me how very few, if any, are actually at the table, at the decision table, that really make up decisions for our tribes in this state and this country.
That's right. But I'm glad that we are making and individuals like yourself are making an impact, and you're really getting involved. And we're really looking forward to get others inspired
Mhm.
and get them involved as well, especially our younger generation, who is very, very open minded, and it's just a little bit more. They're just very outgoing in my opinion. I have a 20-year-old, and she's just super outgoing. And every time we say something, she's like, "Because I have a voice, and that's why you gave me the right
Exactly.
to voice it." So I'm glad
Yes.
that's taking progress, even though it's very minor. So now, given that today this is May is considered Military Appreciation Month, I want to ask you a question. What is to you a hero? What do you consider a hero?
A hero. Well, that comes in my mind. I know I have come from a family that served, both my dad's, and then my mom's side, on the native side, of like almost every generation within my family on my mom's side served. However, a hero to me doesn't exactly mean, military. It can mean a lot of things. It could be your neighbor in what they're doing. It can mean, just our nurses, our doctors that are out there, our firemen, our firemen and women that are out there, and local police. It's the teachers. My gosh, the teachers, especially. I think
Right.
so much has changed with this pandemic, and we really, I think, through this, we can define hero as a lot of things that maybe wasn't defined before. Could be our moms and dads. Mother's Day is around the corner, and just thinking about that, it's really from your perspective. And a hero doesn't have to necessarily be somebody that's famous or a celebrity. It could be really anybody. And I think a lot of heroes
That's right.
who've been called a hero, we don't even a lot of heroes don't define themselves as that.
That's right. That's right. To me, my heroes are my immediate kids. The kids, because that's really what makes me want to go out and do a little bit more and get involved in the community. And so they're my
Right.
motivation to want to do something better. So that's my hero, my mom, and immediate family. So you talk about running for city council in Vista. And so just give me a little, just a brief, what does that district compose on, and how many veterans or military families are you aware that live in the community?
We actually have a large veteran base here in Vista. I'm still learning those numbers with exactly how many within my district, but I do know within this district, there's a lot of numbers in terms of veterans, and then within Escondido, San Marcos, Vista, Oceanside, Carlsbad. We have Camp Pendleton right here, and that we're neighbors with, and of course you got Miramar. We have two of the largest military installations, within the United States right here. When military men and women transfer out, they most likely are going to call California home. We do have beautiful sunshine here in San Diego, but along with
Hmm,
that comes with a pretty good price tag with that. And
that's right.
and I really believe that it's our leaders within these cities that it's on their responsibility to create opportunities, not just for military and veterans families, but for the community as a whole. And what I've noticed in the past, there hasn't been a lot of collaboration within inner cities, and I know that is absolutely true, especially after the recent events with COVID-19. There was a breakdown of communications between the cities on what was protocol, what wasn't protocol, what is one city doing versus another city,
That's
and
right.
what the county was doing. There was just a lot of mixed information. And coming from my military background and also state background, where I had some time I spent at the California Operation Emergency Services Department when we had those wildfires in 2018. I had some time there working with the tribes. That cap that came on, definitely I knew, like, what are we doing? We are not prepared. I mean, I think that's, as a nation, we weren't prepared for this, but there was just these little things that we should have in place
Right.
in terms of communication, where to turn to for water, or emergency supplies. Where do we find those? And what about our seniors? We have one of the highest, actually, in California. Senior veterans make up the large population of veterans, about 60%, I believe. That was the last number I remember when I was at the California Department of Veterans Affairs. It was around 60%. And a lot of that population is right here in North County, or in San Diego.
Exactly.
And so we need to be prepared for that. And how do we reach out to them? Even the mental health issues as well that we're facing, we're just not there yet. And I know um, if we have the right team, the right leadership, and the plan in place, we will be able to have that outreach. We'll be able to have that recovery relief with a plan on the economic side. Right now, I'm not hearing that, and that bothers me. Originally, before COVID
And that's
19, excuse me, I'm sorry,
no,
I didn't.
and I was going to actually ask you that. Next question. That's okay. I was going to ask you. Next question is what is your vision for Vista, for your community, to retain veterans once they transition out? So, like, you're doing a beautiful explanation about how we need to come up with all these plans and action items so that we retain us here in sunny California, but with a good plan so that we are able to survive and thrive, because it
Right.
is expensive to stay here. So what
Mhm.
is your mission? What is your vision for that? What sort of plan do you have
Mhm.
for the veteran community, or the transition service member, better yet,
Sure,
to
sure,
stay in Vista?
sure. I think it's important that we actually have a program. Right now, that doesn't exist. I do have veterans now transitioning military, that are looking to get into clean energy, and those programs do not exist. Not in Vista, and I want to say in our North County area in general, and possibly even San Diego County. Those clean energy, the training doesn't exist. I'm having a hunch of this. I can't say that I'm completely accurate, but I would say I'm guessing this, because I do get referrals even to today coming from Camp Pendleton, Miramar, and down in San Diego. They're referring these transitioning military to me, which is fine. I know where the jobs are. I know where to connect them with. There's a lot of opportunities in clean energy, and I'm bringing clean energy up because the military has been focused on climate issues and preparing for this. In preparation
That's
for
right.
the climate shift, there are jobs, there's training, and we just recently had this crazy torrential rains recently that even caused a mudslide here in my backyard, but not just my backyard, but all of our backyards, right? Here in Southern California. So we're just not prepared for that. Our roads, our bridges, there's so much that we can, jobs that we can provide to transitioning military and veterans and their family members. We just don't have that infrastructure in place, and I don't hear of that happening. So that's where we need to start. And we need to start
Got it.
collaboratively with other communities, not just within Vista, right? So that's important. I think that's where we
Correct.
need to start.
That's great. And so we're getting ready to wrap up, and we want to make sure that we share your information, your banners, and things how
Thank
individuals
you.
can get involved.
Thank
But most importantly, I just really quickly to close out. And what can we do? What can the veteran, the military family community do for you to help you as a veteran, but also as a small business owner to help you really, put out your mission and make it more visible on your behalf? What can we do for you?
You know what I'm going to say? What we can all do for all,
There we go. I like that.
all,
Thank
what
you.
we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other. We support each other. And how do we do that? We work together. We go after these contracts together. There's so much pie. And if we work together, we have all this expertise and experience, and the network to bring it home, to do the job, to get it done. And what we can do as veterans and support veterans running for office, find out about them, learn about them, learn about my campaign. Tomorrow is my first virtual launch. It's actually my first launch because we were planning this before the unfortunate COVID-19. But we are adapting as we do in the military. We're adapting to this, and it's our first virtual launch. And it's from 11 to 12, and it's on Facebook Live and also YouTube. And we have our local guest, national local guest is Elaine Swan. She's our host tomorrow, and she's been a friend for almost 10 years. And I'm just really happy that I have an amazing campaign team, and a lot of folks are already supporting me. And that's what we can do as veterans, is support each other and our families. More veterans in
That's
office.
great. And we know perfect. And we know Elaine, she's a beautiful lady and she's all the etiquette guru. So you have a great host and we wish you the best for that particular event. Looking forward to joining you tomorrow as well as a private citizen, not, as a neighbor, of course, because I'm
Okay.
in San Marcos, but looking forward to really joining you tomorrow and having, listen a little bit more of what you have, your platform and your
Wonderful.
mission, what you have to say. So yeah,
Great.
thank you so much for coming. And we're really looking forward to our continued collaboration.
Likewise. Take care. Bye, everybody. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. Any last comments for the audience that you would like to add, or events that you think that are upcoming that you would like to mention? Are you? Are we still? Can you still hear me or no?
Oh, hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to somebody else.
Oh no, no. I was just
I, thought,
checking to see if there was
I saw you doing
anything.
this, and I'm like, no, that's fine. Sorry, I was just.
No,
We're still
for
live.
the
Hi.
chamber. Yeah, we're still live and we're still
I'm
talking to
sorry. Yes,
our
of
audience.
course.
But
So
yeah, no,
yes, I'm sorry, Chamber. So this is what happens when you're live. You improv and you pause. But yes, so one of the greatest things I want to tell you as a members, invite all of our members to really just make sure that you connect and that you get involved by becoming a member. Go to our website, www.bccsd.org. That's the best way for you to find out all of the latest initiatives. You get on our mailing list. Our newsletter goes out every other week. We can spotlight you, we can showcase you, we can connect with you with multiple programs, as well as be able to then just in general collaborate and bring you here to this particular broadcast so that we can showcase you on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So we want to make sure that we are empowering all of our small business members, but not just small business, all of them who are affiliated to the Veteran Chamber. So thank you.
Well,
Thanks,
awesome.
Michael.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you running the show today. You're doing an awesome job, and I think veterans will just benefit from not only your hosting, but the guests that will come on the show. So thank you. And with that, thank you for everybody for joining the show today. And I hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend, and make sure that you put it on your calendar for next Friday. We have a special guest coming up. So stay tuned and look for us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
That's right. And yes, come on live. Thank you.